Now can you hear me? All right. Oh yeah, and the screen went black, so. All right, well, to be fair, I couldn't see that you couldn't hear me for a little bit because I couldn't see chat. So I was working on it. Oh, part of me is very tired. Hi, Panda. I don't know who you talk about who's cute. I don't know who you're saying who's cute. I don't know what you're talking about. Speaking nonsense. I am. Thanks. Oh, I'm excited for today. Sen and I are gonna go do something today. It's just kind of a secret, kind of a surprise. Okay. I don't know how well this is gonna work because like I have to keep looking down at, because my iPad is down here on, I don't have it up. Like I want to get something so it like holds it up, but I haven't yet. Oops, and I just draw it on there. So until I can get something to hold it up, then yeah, I'm just gonna be looking down, which means my poor VTuber will be looking down. Yeah, so thank you for calling me cute, Panda. Smoking something if you don't cute. It's okay. I'll allow it this time. Oh, sorry. I'm kind of tired. I'll be making random tired noises just because that's just who I am. If I'm tired, I make tired noises. But yeah, so as you can see, we've got my canvas, which is a white spot. Then we have a teeny tiny little YouTube video. It's just so you guys can see what I see, what I'm seeing. She's sleeping. Yeah, she's still sleeping. Because, like mom and dad, she prefers to be awake at night and sleep during the day. Which makes it very difficult to do literally anything. I heard Discord go off, but it's because of it was on the other computer. Maybe it was on this computer. I don't know. I heard Discord go off. Okay, so this is not going to be a super long stream because I've got to go at like 1. I got to leave the house at like 1:30ish. That means I got to get off here about 1. And it's almost 11. I wanted to start at 10, but like Sen called me 6,000 times while I was attempting to sleep, which made me kind of, yeah. I got up and went to the bathroom and left my phone on the bed and ignored him. But yeah. Sen and I will be back this evening too. So there's that. So anyways, You tell me if the video is too loud for you. Obviously I have to be able to hear it. I may need to turn off the music. Oh wait, you can't see the video because the video is behind me. I could put the video above. I could put the video above my head. Could put the video. Why didn't any of you tell me? What? Why didn't none of you tell me that you couldn't see the video that I was talking about? You were all like, "Ooh, just gonna sit here and watch you talk, and then hear something speaking but not see it." Y'all are just. You all are great. Nobody told me that they could. There, I even made myself a little bit small. Okay. I feel that one. I feel that one completely. All right. I'm gonna push play on this video. If y'all can't hear it, I can turn it up. If y'all can hear it, great. If you don't want the music, let me know. So I can turn off the music while we're playing the video. Or I can just make the video go away and you guys don't have to watch the video with me. Not that you can see the video very well, but you know, hey, the video's for me. And whoever wants to struggle with doing Procreate with me. But yeah. You was enjoying the music, so calming. Well, I mean, I haven't started the video yet.
For this video, you'll know how to use Procreate's brushes and colors, as well as fundamental gestures and tools, so you can create digital art on iPad. Procreate is a digital painting app that harnesses the power of iPad and Apple Pencil, used by artists of all levels
they have music
to paint, sketch, design,
so we
and
may
animate
just
anytime,
chill
anywhere.
our music.
We believe the best learning comes from doing. So as you progress through the beginners series, you'll create beautiful artworks, graphics, and even animation. So grab your iPad and let's get started. When you enter the app, you're greeted by your gallery, which is the home of your artworks. To create a new artwork, hit the plus icon.
I already have it. I have already knew.
You'll always find screen size canvas at the top of the list, so let's start there.
Yeah, I realized it was like really, really loud, so I
interface. It may look simple on the surface, but don't let it
turned it down some. Is that better?
So let's see what we've got here. Tapping gallery here will take you back to your gallery. Important.
We don't need to go back to my gallery.
On the top right. This is where you'll spend most of your time.
Okay.
Let's go through them. From left to right, we have the paint, smudge, and erase tools, followed by layers and color. You can tap any tool to select it. Paint selected, we can tap it again to open Brush Library. In Brush Library, we have our brush sets here on the left and the brushes within them on the right. Procreate offers over 100 brushes to create with. Many of the brush sets draw inspiration from real-life art mediums like pencils, inks, paints, charcoals, and much more. Let's try a few. In the sketching set, let's tap on the 6B pencil. Then tap the canvas to close the brush library and we'll give it a go. Just like a real pencil, this brush gets heavier with pressure, and you can also shade by tilting your pencil.
I should probably use black.
Is in the artistic set. Old Beach, just here. This brush is actually named after the place in Tasmania where Procreate was born. You can create some beautiful dynamic marks with this brush. You can also
what brush
draw
did
with
she
your finger,
say?
Procreate really comes to life with the Apple Pencil, with brushes changing with pressure, tilt, and speed.
I don't even know what brush she said.
I'd recommend you explore the brush library to get a feel for what's possible. We can also control our brushes using the sliders here on the left-hand side. The top slider is for brush size, taking your brush from small to large. And the bottom slider is for brush opacity. Taking your brush from transparent to opaque. As you can see, you can get some really different effects from just a single brush by adjusting these sliders and using the pencil in different ways. Now let's take a look at the smudge tool. We can use
I like the
this
smudge
to blend
tool.
anything we already have on our canvas. You're basically pushing paint around. And the erase tool to remove colour from our canvas. Just like paint, both smudge and erase use the same brush library, which makes Procreate unique in that you can smudge and erase in expressive ways. So if you want to smudge using a 6B pencil or erase using the old beach brush, then that's totally up to you. Now let's add some colour to the mix. Here in the top right, you can see your active colour. If we tap on it, we can choose a new colour using a variety of modes. There are millions of colours to choose from. For now, let's just use Colour Disc. Move the reticle in the outer ring to select the colour range you wish to work with. This is called the hue. The actual colour you will paint with is selected in the inner disc by dragging the reticle from dark to light and from dull to bright. Let's select a bright red and tap the canvas and paint. Some brushes, like oil paint within the painting set, can blend with colour already on the canvas to produce some beautiful painterly results. Now our canvas is getting quite full. It's a good time to learn some gestures that will be helpful shortcuts as we move forward. Let's start with the basics. Tap with 2 fingers on the canvas to undo, and a 3-finger tap will redo. Hold 2 fingers on the canvas to rapidly undo, and a 3-finger hold will rapidly redo.
I don't like that.
You can also use these undo and redo buttons on the sidebar.
I like using the undo and redo button.
To pinch and zoom, move and rotate around the canvas. This can be great for exploring detailed areas of your work.
I've never liked the finger taps on the
we can
board.
fit our artwork to the screen. And we can clear the canvas by quickly planting 3 fingers and scrubbing back and forth. Okay, so now we know our toolbox, let's go further and create an artwork. Follow along with me, but remember this is art, so feel free to express yourself in your own way. First, let's select a brush. Tap the paint tool, tap into the drawing set and select the Freycinet brush. Notice we've got the brush size quite low here. Now let's select a colour. Tap on the active colour to open our colour panel and drag the reticle in the outer ring to an orange hue. Colour, brush size quite low here. Now let's select a colour. Tap on the active colour to size quite low here. Now let's select a colour. Tap on the active colour to open our colour panel. First, let's select a brush. Tap the paint tool, tap into the drawing set and select the Freycinet brush. Notice we've got the brush size quite low here. Now let's select a colour. Tap on the active colour to open our colour panel and drag the reticle in the outer ring to an orange hue. Then drag the reticle in the inner disc to a nice burned orange colour. Once we've got the colour we want, tap the canvas and we'll start by drawing a round sun on the left side. Remember, we're not working on paper here, so we can tap with 2 fingers to undo. And we can try again. Nice, and colour that in. Now, let's go back to our colour and select a warm pink hue and drag the shade to become a dusty pink, somewhere here on the lighter corner of our disc. Cool, and draw a mountain. The Freycinet brush changes size depending on pressure, so if you're using a pencil, you can press lightly for the outline and then more heavily to colour it in. Now another colour, find a nice blue hue and push the shade darker, a little less saturated so we get a nice navy blue. Now we're going to draw a mountain to the left. Remember our gestures, you can pinch out or rotate if you need to get a better angle.
She's going too fast for me.
At this point, let's say we want
She's going too fast for me. Agreed what? Wait, what did you agree with? What did I say? That she's going too fast? Oh, yeah, preferring the undo and redo buttons, yeah. I just don't like the finger taps. Just never liked using the finger taps. Good enough. Mine doesn't look exactly like hers, but it looks good.
At this point, let's say we wanted to erase the blue mountain. As our eraser shares the same brush library as the paint tool, we can select the Freycinet brush again under the drawing set to create harmony between painting and erasing. But if we go back to erase the blue mountain, you see everything gets erased as we painted straight over our pink mountain. This would be completely expected if we were working in traditional mediums like real physical paper, but we can overcome this limitation using one of the key benefits of digital art, layers.
Layers.
Tap on the layers icon here next to our active color. Right now we can see everything is currently on one layer. Procreate uses layers that are stacked. Imagine them like sheets of glass that are completely transparent except for the paint that you add. This gives you the power to paint, erase, edit and rearrange each layer separately without touching others. So let's pop our mountains onto separate layers. First, let's two-finger tap to undo those mountains and go back to just after we painted our sun. Remember that three-finger redo? Now we're ready to add a new layer for our blue mountain. Now, if we look into our layers menu, we see we have a single layer containing only our sun. Tap the plus icon here on the top right. This will add a new layer for us to paint our blue mountain on. Now tap the paint tool and paint the blue mountain again. Let's add another layer for our pink mountain. Select a dusty pink and paint that in.
Apparently, we're doing the blue one first. Got it. It looks like a cloud. My mountain looks like a cloud. That doesn't look a whole lot better, but whatever. She's fast forwarding through the coloring. I can't fast forward through the coloring, dude. I cheated a little bit. It doesn't look very mountainy. I don't know what those are.
Created each mountain on a new layer. When we go to erase that pink mountain again, the blue mountain is not touched. Let's undo that. When we go into our layers panel, we can see that everything is on a separate layer. The blue highlight here indicates your selected layer. You can only ever paint on the selected layer, currently the pink mountain. If we tap the plus icon, a new layer is always added above the selected layer. Now we can see the new layer is selected, so any new paint will be on this layer. We'll now grab a deep green, select the hue, then the shade, and paint a big green mountain on top of that pink mountain. If we were painting on paper, we would have painted clean over that pink mountain. But with layers, that pink mountain is still there. We can even tap and hold the green mountain layer and drag it under the pink mountain layer. Be sure to create a little gap here between the layers and drop the layer in. We can now select the pink mountain layer and let's erase a part of it to make way for another mountain in between. Remember, the new layer will be added above your selected layer. So let's select the green mountain and add a new layer above it. Now choose a new layer your selected in between.
Yes, you did.
Remember, the new layer will be added above your selected layer. So let's select the green mountain and add a new layer above it.
Yeah, 1 minute. Like the layer, that I know that.
Now choose a yellow with a little bit of an orange hue, nice and golden. And draw a mountain in between the pink and the green. Now there's a special sort of layer that always sits on the bottom of our layer list, background color. We can't paint onto this layer, but we can tap the checkbox to turn the layer off. Tapping the layer itself lets us choose a new color for our background. Move the hue to yellow and bring the shade ever so slightly to find a nice off-white. Nice. Now I think we need a few more mountains. Tap done. To add another layer at the top, make sure you select the top layer and tap the plus icon. Tap the canvas. Now I'll show you a little shortcut. If you touch and hold the screen with a finger, the eyedropper tool will appear. This is another way of selecting color. See, it magnifies the area we are touching and we can drag it around the canvas like this. And release to select that pink again. You can now see it in the top corner. Tap the active color and bring the shade up to a lighter pink. This will keep the same hue, which will look great. Now draw another mountain on the top. Select the burnt orange using the eyedropper tool, just touch and hold, and draw another mountain. Now select the navy.
As I go. As I go, it's looking less and less mountainy. It's fine. My mountains are drunk. It's fine. Oops.
Bring it up to a pale blue and draw another mountain on the left here. Now these final mountains are all on one layer, which is totally fine to do. But because the others are on separate layers, we can easily go back and fine tune them. I've just given you a really brief insight into layers, but as we dive deeper into the next videos, you'll see more and more ways that layers can be used to give you control and flexibility with your art. For example, we can add layers to experiment with new ideas or final touches. Let's try it. Add a new layer at the top. Go into Brush Library and under the calligraphy set, grab the chalk brush. Tap and hold the sky to select that off-white color. And let's go in and draw some outlines around our mountains. Feel free to be expressive here.
Another layer. Oops, it's supposed to be up here.
Now this is great because
I need to go back to the green layer. I screwed up some of the green layer and I was trying to fix it. They're not very mountainy, but you know, it's fine. They're very not much mountainy. um I think she said I'm not sure. She said the calligraphy pen, but I don't remember where the calligraphy pen is. Oh, it says duh. It says calligraphy. I'm dumb. I don't know where my little glove is. So I'm having to do this without my glove. Basically my glove is to prevent me from touching the canvas with my hand and screwing it up. I don't know where that glove is. It's missing. Since it's missing, I have to be careful. I have to be careful. So I don't. What layer? I'm on the right layer. Is it not working? Oh, because the pink layer. Got it. Go into the pink layer. Research. Good enough.
Now this is great. Because our outline is on a new layer, we can go in and erase or change it easily without affecting the layers underneath. Like we saw with our background layer, we can also hide or show any other layer with the checkbox here on the right. Swipe left on a layer and you'll see the option to delete it. Hit delete. But remember, if you tap out and two-finger tap, you can easily undo your deletion. It'll say here on the top. And when you go into the layers panel, you'll see that your deleted layer has returned. It can be very freeing.
I'm not going to delete my layers. That makes me mad.
And use layers to try new things.
I already deleted a layer. It's fine.
Touches. Let's add a new layer. And select the old beach brush. Remember in the artistic set? And that golden yellow color using the eyedropper. Boost the size now.
Oops. Beach.
Golden yellow color using the eyedropper. Boost the size now and add a little pressure to add some delicate texture to the sun. You can press quite lightly. Add another new layer. And let's select
that is not golden yellow. That is like
and bring it down a shade
green
in your colors panel. Now we're going to go in and add some texture to the sky. And I really love how the old beach brush can add some beautiful texture.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hi, Sen. I don't know where my don't know where my glove is, Sen. So I'm having to be very careful so I don't hook on here. It's fine. I just don't know where it is, so I have to be careful. That's all. It's over here somewhere. I know it is. I just don't know where. I don't know how she got hers to be as light as that because mine is really dark. Maybe the yellow is dark. Oh, she used the opacity? Yeah, she does have the pressure sense pen. Yeah, well, these iPads don't have that selection. These iPads can't do that. So my Pro can, which is currently dead in the baby's bed, but I'd rather just use the 10 anyways. I'll just turn the opacity down. Yeah, but like the other pen that can be for this it can't. Only the Pro pens can. I looked it up. Yeah, which is whatever.
A really off another new layer. And let's select that off-white again and bring it down a shade in your colors panel. Now we're going to go in and add some texture to the sky. And I really love how the old beach brush can add some beautiful texture. Don't worry if you go over the mountains because we can go in now to our layers panel and drag the clouds to the bottom of the list. And we're done. When you're happy with your artwork, you can share it. Tap the wrench icon to reveal the Actions menu. Tap Share and select the file type you want it to export as. We'll use PNG and save it to our photos. Thank you for joining me in part 1 of the Procreate Beginner series. With what you've learned in this video, you can now jump in and start creating. For a deeper dive into colors, layers, brushes and more, join me for part 2.
So there. Doesn't look exactly. I just dropped my pen. Doesn't look exactly like hers, but you know what? I think it looks pretty good for me not being not having my my I know she didn't have one, but like I don't know. I'll just have to buy another one. They weren't that expensive. I got it off of Amazon. They weren't super expensive. I know. I just like my mountains don't really look like mountains. They look like I don't know. My mountains don't look like mountains, but it's okay because I've never really draw mountains that look exactly like mountains. But yeah. Mm. That's true. I'm going to do this. Zoom. Oops. Uh, No. What is today's date? I have like fucking 10 monitors here and still can't see the fucking date today. 3-5. There. Thank you, Des. Yeah, I have 3 big monitors in front of me. I have a small monitor in front of me. I have a big monitor to the side of me. I also have my phone and my iPad in front of me still. Oh, and my watch. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 9 things that can tell me the date. I still can't see the date. Okay, to be fair, my main screen and my main monitor and my second monitor have full screen mode going right now. My third monitor has my headphones, kitty ears in front of it. The small monitor is just really hard to see. And the other monitor has my VTuber in front of it. And my iPad and my phone are obviously have something in front of it too. It's not really that early. It's 11:30. Time is made up anyway. But I put the date on there. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, technically same. I was up at like 5 something this morning, but then I did some stuff around the house and then I went and took a nap. Till 10.
Welcome to part 2 of the Procreate Beginners series. I'm Christiane, and in a few minutes, you'll expand your digital art skills, going deeper into using Procreate's colors, brushes, layers, and effects. You'll also create a beautiful night scene. So grab your iPad and follow along. Let's open Procreate and hit the plus icon in the top right to create a new artwork. Select screen size canvas at the top of the list. And here we have our fresh new canvas. This time, let's start with color. Tap your active color in the top right. In part 1 of the beginner series, we introduce you to the color disc right here. Procreate also has other ways of picking colors, including classic, harmony, and value. The end here, we have palettes, which is a little different because you can not only pick colors, but you can also save them for later. Let's use this to create a blue palette for our night scene artwork. Procreate comes with a bunch of palettes, but we're going to tap the plus icon and tap the first option here to create a new palette. We can tap the title and go to our keyboard and call our palette Night. Done. You'll see a little blue tick here, which means the new palette is set to default. By tapping the 3 dots next to any other palette, we can also have the option to set any to default. When a palette is set to default, this means that if we go back to our color disc, we can see our blank new palette. So let's start. Now we want to create a blue palette, so we'll move our hue, the reticle in the outer ring, to blue, right between the deep and the light blue. And in the inner circle, we can start selecting our shades. We'll be selecting 5 shades of blue, from light to dark. Drag the reticle up from the center to find a nice pale blue, and tap into the top left of our palette to save the color as a swatch. Now drag the shade down to just above the middle, and let's nudge the hue ever so slightly right. Then tap the next square along in our palette to save that swatch. Nice. Drag the shade down to the middle and nudge the hue just a touch right again. By nudging into the slightly deeper blues as we go, we'll create some beautiful variation in our palette. Tap the third square along, bring the shade down and nudge the hue to the right. Save that swatch. Note that if you accidentally add a color to your palette like this, you can tap and hold that square and hit delete swatch. You can also tap and hold a swatch and move it around your palette. And let's go for a deeper blue and a little darker now to create our final swatch. And our palette is done. These colors are now saved for any time we want to use them. Even when we go into layers to select our background color, we can see our palette there. Tap the darkest blue. Now select a brush. Tap the paint tool and under the inking set, select Ink Bleed. Tap your active color and I'll show you a little trick. You now know that you can move the reticle around your active under the ink blue. Now select a brush to use them. Even when we go into layers to select our background color, we can see our palette there. Tap the darkest blue. Now select a brush. Tap the paint tool and under the inking set, select Ink Bleed. Tap your active color and I'll show you a little trick. You now know that you can move the reticle around the circle to select a shade or tap around, but if you double tap, your reticle will snap to a perfect white, black or solid color. Let's select pure white and make sure our brush size is somewhere in the middle here. Now we'll dive into a few more of my favorite Procreate features. How do we draw a straight line in Procreate? It's actually very easy. Draw any line and hold at the end, and QuickShape will snap it into a perfect line. And as long as we keep holding, we can move that line around from its start point.
I already knew that.
Happy with our line, we can lift our pencil and it's done. QuickShape also allows us to draw clean curves. And also shapes. Let's draw a circle. Draw and hold. And it's not quite a circle yet, but if you touch and hold with another finger, it will form a perfect circle. You can also draw triangles and squares in the same way. Okay, let me show you another great feature. Now that we have some shapes, let's use Color Drop to fill them in. Tap and hold the active color and drag it into the circle to fill it. Color Drop fills an area of your artwork with your active color, but if there's a hole, like this square here, the color will bleed out and fill the canvas. I'll show you another example of this. Let's scrub the canvas with 3 fingers to clear. Let's take the brush size right down and draw a circle. When we color drop, it fills the canvas again. Let's 2-finger tap to undo that. This is because the line again has holes, just tiny little ones, but I'll show you a trick to fill them in. If I take the active color, drag it in and don't lift my finger, a blue line will appear at the top here, the color drop threshold. If I drag my finger to the left While keeping it on the canvas, I can find a point where the colour doesn't bleed through, and this threshold will be saved for the next time we colour drop. So why don't we just keep the threshold low? Well, if we boost the brush size, our circle now has a really jagged edge. If we colour drop, we can see that it's not bleeding enough this time. So in this case, we want to drag the threshold up to fill those gaps. Okay, let's create a night scene with our new skills. First, let's clear this and bring the brush size to around the middle and draw a circle in the top right. Touch with another finger to make a perfect circle. Even after creating a quick shape, you can continue to edit it by tapping Edit Shape. You can then alter the proportions, undo any steps, and by touching inside or outside the shape, move it around to where you're happy with it. Let's colour drop and remember the threshold was saved from last time. Now we want to cut into this circle to create a crescent moon. I want to use the same ink bleed brush for my eraser, so I'll show you a quick shortcut to keep your current brush when selecting the next tool. Instead of simply tapping my eraser, if I tap and hold the eraser now, we bring the ink bleed brush with us to the eraser. This is a really handy shortcut. Let's use quick shape with the eraser now. Erase a little circle in the top right of your moon and keep holding to make it a quick shape, and adjust it to create a nice crescent shape. Feel free to try a few times. We want to get a pretty crescent moon shape. Now cut into that shape and erase it away. Feel free to boost the brush size to make it a little quicker. Now let's draw some clouds. Tap the layers icon and tap plus to create a new layer. Next, tap your active color. You'll see a small grey handle at the top. Drag from here to move your color companion to the bottom left of your canvas. This is super handy for quickly accessing colors. And if we tap into palettes, we can see our night palette right there. Tap the fourth blue along, tap bottom left of your small grey handle at the top. Drag from here to move your color companion to the bottom left of your canvas. This is super handy for quickly accessing colors. And if we tap into palettes, we can see our night palette right there. Tap the fourth blue along and pinch your fingers slightly on the canvas to zoom out a little. Watch as I draw clouds from roughly the top center to the right center. Now color drop. Tap into layers and let's tap and hold the cloud layer and drag it below our moon.
I'm also still on the same layer by accident.
Now tap the plus to add a new layer above the cloud.
No, she wants me to add the... Mhm. I cheated because I dragged and dropped the color.
Select the third blue along, and from roughly the top quarter to the bottom right, draw another cloud.
My boobs are huge!
Try not to follow exactly the same shape as the first cloud.
Mhm.
Variation is nice. Remember, if you don't draw to the edge, color drop will fill the entire area. So if this happens to you, just make sure you close your line. Let's add another layer for our final cloud. Tap the second blue and draw from...
Oops. Couldn't see this. Somebody played My Boobs Are Huge, and I can't actually see who because I don't have that. Didn't actually make me say it because I was very distracted. Oh, I'm on the eraser tool. I'm dumb. See, like, it can't... There it goes. The one thing I hate about the drag and drop is this right here. See? The one thing I hate about the drag and drop method is you get little imperfections in it. And it, for me, it drives me crazy. Like, absolutely crazy. people will be like, "Oh, it just gives your art more whatever," and I'm like, "No, it gives me anxiety because I'm slightly perfectionist when it comes to my art. That's why I get frustrated when I do it sometimes because of little things like that. I bet you if I hide the moon, I'll find more. Yep. I mean, it's as easy as just doing this to fix it. Like, which basically all I'm doing is, drawing a line between the two. That's it. I need to put the moon back. I was moving the moon. I mean, I do know some Procreate stuff, so like.
Roughly halfway down to halfway along. And color drop. Now let's look at some more options you have with layers. Tap the moon layer to select it and tap again to reveal your layer options. Here we have a whole bunch of options. Right now, we'll only look at a few. For example, rename lets you create a new label for your layer. Let's call this one Moon. Tap the layer below and tap again to get our layer options. Tap Alpha Lock. Alpha Lock means that transparent parts of the layer will not be touched by new paint. So if we tap and hold to select that white again and paint, you can see that the paint locks only to the area we've already painted. Let's two-finger.
I do. Okay.
Let's look at some more options you have with layers. Tap the moon layer to select it and tap again to reveal your layer options. Here we have a whole bunch of options. Right now, we'll only look at a few. For example, rename lets you create a new label for your layer. Let's call this one Moon. Tap the layer below and tap again to get our layer options. Tap Alpha Lock. Alpha Lock means that transparent parts of the layer will not be touched by new paint. So if we tap and hold to select that white again and paint, you can see that the paint locks only to the area we've already painted. Let's two-finger tap to undo that. Go into your paint tool and under the industrial set, grab the rusted decay brush. Set the brush size to fairly close to the top. Grab the lightest blue color from our palette and touch lightly to add some texture to the crest of the first cloud. Grab the third blue color and add some darker shade to the inner part of the cloud. Now we're starting to really.
I don't remember what brush she said to use. Industrial. Okay.
Set the brush size to fairly close to the top. Grab the lightest blue color from our palette and touch lightly to add some texture to the crest of the first cloud. Grab the third blue color and add some darker shade to the inner part of the cloud. Now we're starting to really get some dimension in our artwork. Let's select and alpha lock the next cloud. We painted this cloud using the third blue, so we'll use the second and the fourth blue in our palette to create light and shade. Paint lightly for the most part, but you can add a few heavier, more textural parts. And finally, select and alpha lock the third cloud. And just to be clear with our colours now, we're going to paint our highlights and shadows with the third and fifth blue shade. And if we tap alpha lock again, we can release it and grab that fourth blue and add a little bit of final texture to the sky. Beautiful. Now let's add some stars. Let's close our colour companion for now. Tap and hold the moon to select white and tap the moon layer and add a new layer. Tap the paint tool and go to the luminance set. Now tap the glimmer brush and let's give it a whirl. Now that's probably too many stars. Let's two-finger tap to undo that. Go back to our paint tool and tap the glimmer brush again to enter Brush Studio. Now, as this is the beginner series, we're about to have just a little taste of one of Procreate's most powerful features. Brush Studio is where every single brush in Procreate is created. It may look complicated, but it's simply a list of settings that make each brush unique. For example, under Shape, you can see the shape of our glimmer brush. Let's go back to Stroke Path, and we want less stars, so let's increase the spacing to maximum. You'll see it updated here in the preview. Tap Done. Now add a smattering of stars. Feel free to try a few times. You can always go in and erase stars that are too close to the moon or the edge of the canvas. I wanted to show you Procreate's Brush Studio now, even if you're a beginner, because it can be really fun to learn about and powerful to experiment with. You never have to worry. On any brush you wish to edit, you can swipe left and duplicate it and really go all out, playing with the different settings and make the brush yours. You will see a little icon on the top right of any new brush you create, and you can always swipe left and reset any existing brush back to its original state. So jump in and get creative. So we've learned a lot about your painting tools on the top right here, and use the sidebar. But now I'd like to introduce you to the editing tools here on the top left. From left to right, we have Actions, Adjustments, Select, and Transform. We had a peek into Actions when we shared our artwork in part 1. Now let's have a look at the next one along, Adjustments. Tap into Adjustments and you'll see a menu of different effects you can apply to your artwork. Now we want to create a glow around our moon and stars. How do we do this? Let me show you. First, we want the moon
Oh, that's pretty. Sorry.
and stars all on one layer. Tap the stars layer to reveal layer options and tap merge down. Now we want to create a copy of this layer to apply the blur effect. So swipe left and tap duplicate. Let's go back to adjustments. Tap Gaussian blur. At the top here, tap the arrow to make sure you have layer selected. Drag your finger right and left across the canvas to adjust the strength of the blur. You can see the percentage at the top. Let's give it a nice glow of around 15%. You can apply the blur by tapping any tool. Now I want to show you some cool effects to give some finishing touches to our night scene. Let's create a new layer at the top. Go to Paint, and under the Painting set, select Old Brush. Make sure your active color is white, and let's boost the size a little, around the top third, and create a few swirls around that moon. Now we've got something on our layer. Go to that layer, and right next to our checkbox, tap the little letter N. This will reveal a menu where we can change the layer's opacity and blend modes. Blend modes change the way the layer blends with the layers below. The N stands for the normal blend mode, where the layer sits on top of the layers beneath with no effect. Most of the time, it's great to simply scroll through the blend modes to see what happens. But if you know how each blend mode works, you can know what to expect. In digital art, colours are numbers, and blend modes use maths to calculate how the colours on this layer blend with the colours below. For example, subtract creates almost black because we are subtracting white from bright colours. And add brightens because we are adding white to bright colours. And there are many interesting and complex effects in between. Let's try overlay, which in this artwork makes the colours below brighter and more vibrant. And at the top here is our layer opacity slider. We can use this to make our layer more transparent or see-through. Let's bring it down a little to 70%. Now let's keep painting on our overlay layer and add a few more swirls. Notice the beautiful glowing colours that are produced. We can also add a little blur to our swirls. Go to Adjustments, Gaussian blur, and give it a little blur, around 5%. Beautiful. Tap any tool to apply the blur. Now, there's just a few more features I'll show you in this lesson in the Actions menu. Go to Actions, Add Text. Type Dream. Now double tap with your finger to select the text. Tap the double A icon in the top right of the keyboard and it'll bring up your text options. Here you can change your font, style, design, and attributes. Let's change the font to Futura. And there are different styles, but let's stick with medium. Let's increase the size and reduce the kerning, which means the space between the letters, down a little, around 5%. And tap Done. We can now use the Transform tool to move our text around. Tap Transform, the arrow icon here, and a bounding box will appear around your layer content. This bounding box allows you to change the size of your content by grabbing one of the corner nodes and dragging out. You can also move the content around by holding either inside or outside the bounding box and dragging around. Tap Transform when you're done. Adding text creates a new layer, which we can see here. Let's move that text layer down a layer list to below the first cloud, so it's nested nicely in there. We can even tap the N and bring down the opacity of that cloud layer. As you can see, there are a lot of options with text in Procreate. We could return to editing our text from its layer options, but let's just hide it for now and bring the opacity of our cloud layer back up. There's one more action I'd like to show you. One of my favorite features of Procreate is the ability to go back and view your artwork come to life. Tap Actions, Video, and Time-Lapse Replay. Procreate records every stroke you make. So in any artwork you create, you can go back and see the complete journey to your final piece of art. Drag your finger across the canvas to scrub through the time-lapse. You can even export a full-length video or a 30-second version of your time-lapse to share with friends or on social media. Thank you for joining me in part 2 of the
How did she save it though?
time-lapse replay. Procreate records every stroke you make. So in any artwork you create, you can go back and see the complete journey to your final piece of art. Drag your finger across the canvas to scrub through the time-lapse. You can even export a full-length video or a 30-second version of your time-lapse. To share with friends or on social media. Thank you for joining me in part 2 of the beginner series. We've covered a lot so far. Well done. We'll learn more about the editing tools in part 3, so join me there.
Yeah, it saves it on its own. The time lapse, yeah. I already knew that. It's only 10 seconds long. That won't work. Yeah, I know. I want that white because it's like blindingly white. Do that. Yeah, so I have to cut off. That. Question is should I upload this to TikTok? Oh, I forgot to. Thanks. I guess now the question is should I go back through them and uh export the put the time lapses on TikTok. So you like the moon one? I like the moon one better than this one. This one didn't turn out as good. Why not? You'd watch it? This one has I could do this one's time lapse too. I'll have to cut out the mess up of the other thing. But yeah. That was that one's time lapse. I should steal Sen's time lapses and put his on there too. Oh wait. Did I say that Sen was learning how to use Procreate too? Whoops, my bad. Do I have enough time for part 3? I don't know how many parts this is. Nobody needs to see your stuff. 4 parts. I did part 1 and 2. I could technically end it here and then do 3 and 4 tomorrow. Unless you guys want to see more of this one. They take a little longer. So maybe I'll just do part 3 and 4 tomorrow. And you guys can watch me edit these and put them up on TikTok. Or you do a little bit of animation. I know how to do animation. I've done animation before, but like it'd probably be better for me to go over it. Like I also have Procreate Dream, which I need to learn how to use too. But yeah, Procreate Dream is another beast that I need to tackle. What was I trying to do? I was trying to do something. Oh yeah, TikTok. We shouldn't hear any sound. Oh, just kidding. We will hear sound. Apparently, we will hear sound. Upload a file. Need to upload that one and that one. Yeah. I can just. Oh, it's because the sound is on over here. If I just do that, we won't hear the sound. Should I have them both as one? Or should I have them as separate ones? I think personally, I think I should have them both as the same one. They're not really that long. Both of them say they're like 11 seconds long. Oops, I didn't mean to duplicate that. Right? Yeah, that's what I was thinking because they're literally not very long. I didn't put the dream back in there. There it is. She had me hide that layer and then I forgot about it. I like that. Oops. I need to go through and like delete all these freaking. Move to trash. Then I need to edit it again. That should be good. Yeah. I should have. There. But this one needs to go here. I put that one on it. Then edit it to there. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. I don't think I should have any. How do I get rid of it? None. I don't think I should have any transition. So, I mean, that looks pretty good to me. My candy fell on the ground. Well, like, nobody in here. Somehow my candy fell on the ground. I don't know how. Do, 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 do. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm just waiting. Stop freaking out. Son liked my video. Not even sure what video he liked. Oh, hey, look. You can don't look at me. I forgot. Why did the error occur? There it goes. Oh yeah.
Looks just like a dream. She looks just like a dream.
Now I have to find music. I can mute it. There. But now I can't hear it. I know. I'm still here. I don't know if you can hear me on the BRB, but oh yeah, you can because it's the other BRB. I'm still here. I am currently posting it on TikTok. You guys will be able to go see it soon. It's posted. For anybody who wants to go and see it. It's posted. I think we'll end here. I posted it. It's on TikTok. If you want to go see it, you can go see it. But yeah. So I will end here, and I will see you all later tonight. With Sen. Sen will be here tonight because we'll be streaming tonight. Yep. See you later. Bye bye, everyone.